before we get started, in as few words as you can, why don't you explain to me just how you managed to get yourself in this predicament, and how you managed to become involved with him? You attended his class and he took a liking to you? That's it? Oh, no, my dear. Dante never just takes a liking to somebody. It's not that simple. See, for someone like him, he requires some sort of connection to the person. Someone from his past. Someone associated with him in some way. But he never just takes a shining to someone just randomly. Well, if it was random, you wouldn't be in this situation as deep as you are. So there must be something there that you're not telling me. How about we come back to that? For now, let's focus on what he's actually done. Has he done anything to physically harm you other than causing a couple bruises? Well, that's a plus at least. He's not getting any more violent with his behaviors. Has he done anything overly controlling other than tying you to the bed? Like, has he controlled where you go, who you interact with, and who you have any relations with? Oh, man. So he's up to his old habits again. Just when I thought he had moved past all of this, he goes out of his way to prove me wrong. In any case, there is nothing I can do about it now other than clean up his mess again. And the fact that I saw a police uniform on the floor in the foyer and an unloaded pistol on the coffee table, I take it the police were already involved. Scheist. Which means there's already an APB on his car, and they're already putting his face out there for people to look for. No doubt they already have his face on the news with the fucking annoying tip line. Was it you who called the cops? Or was it someone on the outside? It was you? Well, if that isn't the most ungrateful, unhelpful, most idiotic thing you could have done! You're lucky he hasn't killed you yet! It's all right, dear. You're safe here. Shh. It's all right. Calm down. I'm not going to hurt you. I needed to say all of that so he would go away. Yes, he was eavesdropping on the other side of the door. But he's gone downstairs now, so he can't hear us as long as we stay relatively quiet. Although this might help too. Now, I didn't quite mean everything I just said as harshly as it sounded, but the police getting involved is a bit of a problem. He won't be able to stay in this area for much longer. I'll have to relocate him again and start him at a new school. You must be confused about all of this. Whoa, easy there, easy. Shh. He really did a number on your psyche, didn't he? Here, just lay down. Take deep breaths. Shh. You relax. Just listen. I'll explain everything, okay?
Why did she have to come in now? Why does that fucking shrew always ruin everything? If she's told everything that's happened until this point, not only will she force me to relocate, but she'll also force me to change my name again. I can't keep starting over like this. And with my cherry blossom, I can't risk losing her again. She must feel something for me, too. Otherwise, she wouldn't endure everything as well as she has up to this point, right? Clearly she called the cops to get my attention. As a test, maybe? To see if I'd be loyal to her? But why did she work with the cops to wear a wire? Was it to prove a point? It couldn't be because she's wanted me to be arrested and taken away. My rose petal couldn't possibly survive in that school if it wasn't for me. If it wasn't for me, she would still be in a relationship with that uncle fucking shit-faced cockmaster Anderson. Who knows what he would have done to her if I hadn't disposed of him when I did. She might have been abused or violated or even beaten and enslaved, or worse.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it, Dante?
Doctor, please, I can explain.
You don't need to. Your newest victim already told me everything.
Please,
Sit down, Dante. You and I need to have a talk.
It's not at all what you may think, I swear to you.
Oh, yeah? Then those bruises on her body weren't caused by you? She wasn't terrified for her life, and she didn't call the cops on you to get away from you? You didn't murder her boyfriend simply because he wasn't a gentleman to her? She hasn't been struggling to survive and hasn't been traumatized for the rest of her life because of your treatment of her in the situation, right? No, that's not at all what I think it is.
I can explain all of that.
You don't need to. All you need to do is look in this mirror and tell me what you see.
I see me.
And do you see a princely gentleman who respects and honors women and treats them well?
No.
No? Then what do you see?
I don't know.
You don't know? Or don't want to say? Look harder at yourself, Dante. Look closer. You're becoming what you despise most. You are what you've been trying so hard to protect her from.
No, it's not possible.
Look at how you've treated her up until now. Do you think your sister would have approved of everything you've done?
You keep her out of this!
What are you going to do, Dante? Are you going to tell me I'm wrong? That she actually would approve of everything you've done and everything you're becoming?
That fucking lowlife scumbag had it coming. He dared to treat her like a slave, and I saved her. I did. Me!
And look where that's gotten her and you! You're a wanted man again! And she's upstairs too traumatized out of her mind to even try to escape from here. And I asked her about her boyfriend Anderson. He never once laid his hands on her in any sort of way. The only abuse she endured from him was all verbal. It never got physical in any sense of the word. Anderson was literally all bark and no bite.
Verbal abuse is still abuse, Doctor. You of all people should know that.
Yes, but verbal abuse she can easily handle on her own. If you hadn't stepped in, she was actually going to report him to the police for harassment, then go on her merry way, like a normal person would.
But a harassment charge like that would easily get him a few months at best.
Which would be more than enough time for her to get away from him and give her time to either move away or find a new boyfriend to help protect her and make her happy. But like always, you just had to step in at the very first sign of trouble without thinking and make things all the worse. I know you want to protect every woman you can. And I know you want to save those who can't or won't save themselves. But not every woman needs a man to ride in on a mighty steed and save them. Some women are more than capable of handling and protecting themselves without the help of a man. And I think it's time you let your sister rest once and for all and start living your life.
What do you mean? I'll never let her go. I can't. She's the only family I have left in this world.
If you truly love your sister, you'll abandon this revenge crusade and let her memory be at rest. Her case closed years ago, Dante, and her killer is still rotting away in prison on death row. Justice has been served, and she's been avenged. All you're doing now is hurting yourself.
Then Why do I feel like my revenge isn't fulfilled? Why do I still feel empty inside?
Because you weren't the one to serve justice to her killer. Your father always taught you the only thing to satisfy any kind of lust is doing it yourself. And from a very young age, you had a powerful lust for blood. And since you never got to be the one who put her killer in prison, you felt unsatisfied ever since. So you've been trying to fill that empty void by doing what you thought was right in protecting other girls like your sister so they wouldn't end up like her.
She was my little rosebud, and I was her thorny stem. I held her up so she could reach the sun and bloom so that the rest of the world could gaze upon her beauty. But then someone came along and cut her away from me and ravaged her petals. Now I stand alone without a rosebud to carry and raise to the sun.
A rose's stem doesn't separate other roses from their stems. If a rose is removed from its stem, the lonely stem continues to grow and renew itself, to grow more roses.
But how can I do that?
You have another removed rose added to your stem. You find a woman who managed to escape her abuser, and you restore her as she will restore you.
That sounds very promising, but I've been so focused on saving women before they make mistakes. I haven't been paying any attention to the ones who've already been abused.
Well, I can think of one who might be willing to give you another chance.
After all I've done, why would she be willing to give me another chance?
She told me you saw something in her that not even her parents acknowledged. You saw something in her that made her rethink a few things.
Really? Are you sure?
Would I lie to you, Dante?
No, you wouldn't.
You truly care about this one, don't you? This one's different with you. You've never acted like this with any of the others.
I really, truly, absolutely do. I can't explain it myself, but she just sparks something inside of me that I can't get enough of. She's all I think about day and night, and all I want to do is do right by her and never let her go. I want to be the man she rightfully deserves, no matter what the cost.
Then, like Dante to Virgil, follow my lead and keep your wits about you.
Why?
You acknowledge you are not as righteous as you originally thought, and your actions allowed you to be led astray. But now you have the chance to make things right. I'm going to take you into that bedroom, and you are going to rescue your Beatrice from herself before you give her over to the demons of fear.
What? I don't know if I can face her now, Doctor. I don't know if...
Well, that's too bad, Dante. If you don't do it now, you'll lose her forever. Is that what you want?
No, of course not.
Then come with me, and steel yourself. You may not like what you see.